Hey guys, check my mic real quick. Okay, good, I'm on it. So today is gonna be just a little gentle hip work. Yeah, or just waking up your hips. We hold so much tension and energetics in our hips, energy in our hips, and especially for us women, and it feels good to just love them up. And so we're gonna start lying down and your feet a little wide, wider than your hips, or if you're on a mat, as wide as your mat. And you can open up your arms to like a T position, nice and wide, with your palms facing up, so you can just relax your chest muscles. And just take a breath, and as you exhale, let your rib cage and shoulders fall a little deeper to the ground. And then from here, with your breath, you're just gently going to sway your knees, your legs from side to side. So as you exhale, your knees are going to drop one direction. And as you inhale, bringing them back to center, and then exhale, gently drop them the other direction. And you don't have to go too far, especially if your knees or hip joints are not loving that. You can just go halfway. You don't have to force it. We don't need to force anything anymore. Exhale to drop. Inhale back to center. And exhale to drop gently. Do that one more time to each side. Okay, so when you arrive back to center after that last one, keep your feet nice and wide. You can bring your arms back down to the ground, closer to your hips. And you're just barely, I'm just gonna pull up my shirt a little bit so you can see that I'm barely lifting my hips off of the ground into a little mini bridge. So you're tucking your tail, sinking your low back into the ground, press out of your heels, squeeze your glutes, and you're just barely lifting your hips off of the floor. And then roll through your sacrum and release your glutes back down to the ground. So it's a nice deep exhale. You're gonna tip your pelvis, tuck your tail, squeeze your glutes together, lifting your hips just barely off of the ground, little hover. And then inhale, relaxing them back down. This is just waking up the back side of your body. And this smaller bridge keeps it in your lower half rather than going all the way up your back, which we'll do soon because it feels good for the back. We're doing that 4 more times. Also, when we talk about the hips, we're going to bring a lot of core into it, of course, and your low back. It's a whole system that works together down here to make this all happen. Squeeze the glutes to lift, release the glutes a little bit more to roll back down. Let's do that one more time together. And then release back down slowly. Okay, so you can step your feet back in a little bit closer. You're going to draw a one-legged tabletop, and you're going to hold here with your spine staying neutral, your hips staying stable. And whenever I say stable, I mean they're staying still. They're holding their place in space. So this leg that's in tabletop, from your hip joint, you're going to circle your leg in one direction. So kind of stirring up the femur bone in the hip joint, I like to say. And you're only moving in very small circles because the rest of your body is staying still or stable. Relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders a little bit more. Kind of massaging out your low back a little bit. And you will notice that as you do these circles, your low back and core have to work together to make this happen. Start to reverse those circles. Next little piece of this, your top foot is either pointed or flexed. It's just active. Doesn't matter which is which. We're not focusing too much on the ankles today. Do that for a couple more breaths, slow and smooth. Both shoulders stay down. And then when you come back to center, you're going to extend your leg up for the roof, flex your foot, and you're going to lower your leg down just about hovering off of the ground, and then point your toes and lift. So waking up your hip flexor, your hip muscles. Reach through your heel to lower. Exhale. Think of your core. Inhale, feel your chest lift. 4 more. Exhale, flex, reach. 2. And this is slow. This is all pretty slow today in this class. Last one. And then you're going to bend your knee and place your foot down and switch sides, lifting your opposite leg into tabletop. Keep your spine neutral, so keep that low back curve. Your bony hip landmarks are nice and even to one another. And you're going to begin those circles on the other side, so your other leg. Going nice and slow and smooth. So this class, I'm making it so that whenever your hips feel sticky, whenever your low back feels sticky, this is a really good class to visit, to come to this and do these gentle exercises to get the blood flowing to these spaces and to open things up, get them unstuck. Last 2 circles in that direction. And then you're going to start to reverse your circles. And I invite you, as you move through these next circles and next exercise, that you just notice from left to right if one felt stickier, if one was easier, if they felt the same. Just take a little inquiry in your own body. And do that for the last 2. And last one. And then when you arrive back to center, you're going to extend your leg up for the roof and flex your foot. Lower your leg down and then point your toes and inhale to lift. And if the ground feels stressful at all, like lowering your leg that low, go as low as feels safe, especially for your low back. You don't want to feel like you're overarching in your low back. Nice deep exhale to reach, go slow. When you go slow too, you can kind of eliminate like the popping, clicking sounds. If it happens in the same place over and over again, you might have a little injury going on. And just going maybe a little higher up. Don't go as low to the ground. There we go. You have the last 3 of those. Last one. And then you're going to bend your knee, place your foot down, lift your opposite leg into tabletop. This is a nice little SI joint release. So your SI joints are your 2 little joints that hold your sacrum in place. They connect your sacrum to your iliac, to your hips, your iliac crest, your hips. And they hold your sacrum in place. And so they're 2 little joints, and if they get shifted at all, which is very common, it doesn't feel good, and it can be pain in your hips and your low back. It doesn't feel good. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know. So this is just a little reset for your SI joints. It also just feels good in your hips and low back. So your leg that's in tabletop, you're just going to place one hand on top and press your leg down. But as you do that, your leg is pressing back into your hand. So you're not moving. Your leg isn't going down or up. It's just pressing actively into your hand, and your hand is actively pressing down. As you do this and hold this isometric contraction, your bottom foot is also grounding further into the mat beneath you, further into the ground, so that your whole system, your whole lower system is active. And your top foot is either flexing or pointing. I think I like to flex it in this position. And you're just holding that. Still your hip bones are staying even, so that's kind of essential to keep those lovely SI joints nice and even. And hold that for 2 more breaths. And you can release that and switch sides. So if you do have SI joint stability, you probably know by now. And if you've seen a physical therapist, they give you this lovely isometric contraction to just kind of put them back in place. So switching sides, tabletop leg, hand presses down onto your thigh, thigh pressing back into your hand, top foot flex, bottom foot pressing actively into the ground. So both legs are very active. Glutes are starting to fire on a little bit to hold you here. And your sacrum, that lower triangle bone, is staying connected and heavy to the ground. Hold this for a few more breaths. And one more full breath in here. And then release that. Yay. With both of your feet down, now going into that full bridge. And what I mean by full bridge is you're going up to about the base of your shoulders. So tipping your pelvis towards your nose, tucking your tail, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips low back off of the ground up to your shoulders, and then you're going to release bone by bone and articulate down through the center of your spine. Untucking your tail back to neutral. Relax your glutes as you roll down and engage your glutes, squeezing them together as you lift. And you're going to do that a few more times, just like that. Inhaling nice and long through your spine, and nice deep exhale to lift. Rolling down bone by bone. And we're doing that one more time. And then rolling down bone by bone. And then when you arrive back to neutral, this is another gentle hip opener. Pretty classic Pilates move. So what this looks like, there's a lot of pieces, and then it will all be smooth and make sense soon. So we'll start with the right leg moving. Your right leg is going to open up laterally to the side. So you're kind of opening up onto the outer edge of your foot. Your knee is open laterally. Your opposite leg stays still. When you find that position, you're going to slide your leg to extension. And then you're going to turn your heel back down to the ground. The top of your foot is pointed up towards the ceiling, so your hip's nice and squared up now. And then you're going to flex your foot and you're going to drag your heel back to start. So it's a nice deep inhale, open your knee to the side. Same leg, we're going to stay on the same side. And then nice deep exhale, slide your leg away. Inhale, rotate back to center, heel down, flex your foot, and exhale, core work. Draw your leg back in. So this is a gentle hip opener. This also is engaging this lovely deep muscle called our psoas. And so it's a very gentle engagement of the psoas with that exhale and pulling, dragging your heel back. That psoas is helping to do that. We're going to do that 2 more times on this side. Inhale, open your knee. Exhale, slide your leg to extension. Inhale, turn it back, come to center, reset, and then exhale, use your core to drag your heel back in. So very slow, very methodical. One more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, slide. Inhale, reset, heel down, top of the foot is up towards the sky, and then exhale, drag your heel back in. So plant your right foot down, go to the left side. Inhale, open your left knee out to the left laterally. And then exhale, slide your foot. You're on the side of your foot, outer edge of your foot. Inhale, square your hip, knee, and toes back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, drag your heel back in, flexing your foot. Doing that a couple more times. It's an inhale to open. Exhale, extend. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, drag back in. Inhale to open. Exhale, extend. Inhale back to center, and exhale, drag back in. 2 more. last one. Exhale, engage your core, drag your heel back in. So good. And then you're going to squeeze your thighs together. Open so your feet, your thighs are all together. Open your arms out wide to the sides of the room, and you're going to drop your knees to the right, and then hold there and look over your left shoulder. So just doing a big, nice supine twist. You can also stagger your legs a little bit if you need to. This is just keeping your hips nice and closer together, engaged. It's an active stretch, so your thighs are squeezing towards one another. Letting your shoulders be heavier to the ground, and hold this for 2 more breaths. And then nice deep exhale, squeeze your thighs, pull your knees back to center, gazing back up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, drop your knees to the other side. Once your hips are set, legs are set, and then look over your opposite shoulder. And just breathe here. Letting your shoulders and head settle a little bit heavier to the ground, actively squeezing your thighs towards one another. And then one more full breath in here, marinating in that moment. And a nice deep exhale coming back to center. You can hug your knees in towards your chest. And if you need to stretch here a little bit longer, oh, just kidding, I have one more stretch for you. One more. You're gonna do figure 4. So I invite you with figure 4 today to keep your foot down. Keep the bottom foot down. Your top ankle is going to cross over your bottom thigh. And you're going to actively press with both hands. You're going to press your leg down. You're going to press your legs away from you. Your bottom foot can ground firmly into the floor to keep you nice and stable there. And you're pressing your leg away, so you're opening up this top hip joint. You can also do this stretch. We'll save a little time for that, which is the piriformis stretch. So stretching out your top piriformis area, this like glute hip area. That's great too. But for this purpose of keeping your legs down, it's opening up your hip flexor a little bit more. Still getting the piriformis, but just keeping things very aligned, very squared up. And so holding that for another breath. So if this feels good, you can stay there, or if you love the lifted figure 4, so when you lift both legs and interlace your fingers behind your bottom thigh, flex both of your feet and actively press your top leg down into your thigh. So it's a very active stretch. You're not just like holding this and floppy in your feet and legs. It's very active. So you should feel all of this glute area, maybe even in your SI joint. That's what I'm feeling, my SI joint just kind of waking up back there. And hold that for 2 more breaths. And then you're going to place your foot down, switch sides. So anchor your new bottom foot down, your grounded foot. You're going to use both hands to press your top leg away. Flex both feet, or grounding in with that bottom heel, top foot is flexed. And you're just actively going to press your leg away, keeping your spine neutral, your sacrum heavy to the ground, your head heavy to the ground. And hold here for a few more breaths. And if you're loving it here, you can stay here. You can also transition to that lifted figure 4, interlacing your fingers behind your bottom thigh. And your top leg, your ankle area, is actively pressing down into your bottom thigh. Both feet are flexed and your whole leg is active. Both legs are active. So feeling your top piriformis area, glute area, hip area. And just hold here for 2 more breaths. And a nice deep exhale, you can lower that down. You're gonna come up to seated. Okay, I have one more for you. I almost forgot. But you're gonna have your hands propping you up, your feet in front of you a little bit wider than your hips, and just gently drop your knees from side to side. So we did this lying down, which is a little more gentle, a little nicer. Doing this seated every day, if you can, is so yummy, happy for the hips, just to do this. You could also do this without your hands and go back and forth, much more challenging. Thinking of your core to help with this. But this movement just gets that internal, external rotation of your hips to keep them happy and healthy and moving. And then do that a few times. Any other stretches you need, or if you'd like to do another class, take your time and do that. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you.